We now would like to cordially invite Dr. Dineshan Ranasinghe to talk about the value of the Good Intern program. He is the Secretary for the Society of Health Research and Innovation and is currently working as a Senior House Officer at the Panadura Base Hospital.
Good morning, sir, and everybody of all of you. The value of the Good Intern program. When we talk about the final MBBS student versus the first on-call doctor, when we are performing medicine, final MBBS medical student is like practicing at net practices in cricket. When we're talking about the first on-call doctor, he's like playing a World Cup match. Then in next practices, we all know we need only the correct technique. But while we are playing a World Cup match, we need the correct technique. We need to have the coping up skills. We have to manage the stress, as well as we have to take decisions, and we have that decision-making power, should have the decision-making power. And we need to have a teamwork there. And also, he's the ambassador of the country. Therefore, when we know that net practices versus playing of World Cup match, we need a little bit of gap is there. Therefore, for that gap, we have to have practice matches or warm-up matches. Yes, it's true for the medicine also. When final MBBS student versus first on-call doctor, there's a huge gap. Therefore, we need to fill that gap. Therefore, we need a good intern program to fill that gap. Why we need a good intern program? Actually, when we are passing out as final MBBS students, it is knowledge-oriented, knowledge is there. And also, after the internship, there's a 10-month lag period. During that 10-month lag period, your skills and knowledge goes down. And you know, as an intern, you are the first on-call doctor. Therefore, you have to have a good communication skills, language skills, and language attitudes. And also should have a quality, professional quality. Actually, we'll come to the bitter truth. Attitudes of the people in the entire world is deteriorating. Attitudes of the people in the Sri Lanka is also deteriorating. And attitudes of the quality of all professions also deteriorating. Then doctors' ethical behavior and attitudes are also got challenged. Actually, from the GMO point of view, actually, we thought there's no point of blaming the trend. Therefore, we have to rectify the trend and which goes towards the wrong direction. That is our GMO point of view, what we thought of that. When we have understood, it is easy to cultivate good qualities among young doctors. Actually, in our profession, interns are the budding doctors who are the most junior doctors. Therefore, we thought having that good doctor program for them, and we named it as Good Intern Program for pre-interns. Then what are the essential skills to build up a good intern? There are a lot. I made few of them here. One is language skills. Other thing is public relations, emergency management skills, communication skills, administrative skills, and handling medical legal aspects, and maintaining professionalism. Also, we need research skills as well as documentation skills, and so a lot of things to be there more than that. Then we come to the Good Intern Program. In the Good Intern Program, we have 3 modules. First one is, Module 1 is Secondary Language Training Program or Native Language Training Program. Module 2 is the Hospital-Based Clinical Training Program and Documentation Skills Program, and Module 3 is this 2-day workshop. Secondary Language Training Program. Sri Lanka is a multilingual country, and intern medical officer is the first contact person for a patient. Therefore, he needs a good communication and should be fluent in all 3 languages, because 70% of our diagnosis is based on a good history. We'll go to the quote what Mr. Nelson Mandela told. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you talk to him in his own language, it goes to his heart. As doctors, we have to talk to the patient's heart. Therefore, we need to know the patient's, and we have to talk with the patient's language. We will see how other countries try to overcome this language barrier. Because other countries, what they have done is, they have employed the professional language translators to, for this, overcome this language barrier. There are a lot of disadvantages than advantages. One thing is, they cannot get on time. Some of the countries told they have to wait for 4 to 6 months' time to find a language translator, even the doctor is there. And they are very expensive, and also they are not accurate. As well as you know, if there's a third person is there, patients don't divulge their true history to our doctors. When we train the second language with doctors, there are a lot of advantages, because doctor and language translator is there at the same time. And there's no added expense, because doctor knows the language. Another thing is, he's always accurate. And other thing is, most important thing is, there's no third party. Then patient can express this is or her, this is freely. Actually, GMO, with the collaboration of Ministry of Health, Ministry of Languages and NILET at Agalawatta, we started an 11-day residential training program at Agalawatta. And we have started after cabinet decision, which was taken at 2013. After doing this program, we have added them to the Facebooks, and there are a lot of comments from the international forums. What they have told is, other countries also should take example from Sri Lanka to start a similar programs like this. Other thing is, most of them told there may be no ethnic crisis if one can use language which can talk to the heart of the recipient. Up to now, for last 7 years, we have done 61 language training programs, and we have trained around 4,221 doctors up to now. This is our native language training program website. We have added 10 history-taking videos in Tamil, and we have planned to have another 25 recorded videos within another few months' time. Then comes to the clinical skills training program. Why intern doctor need a clinical skills program? Because in the nights, most of the intern house officers is the manager of the ward. Because most of the time, our senior colleague will have to come within 20 minutes time. Therefore, he is the manager, and he have to put the cannula, and we have to do all the resuscitation if the patient got bad. Therefore, all of you know there's a golden hour in emergency management. Most of the time in the golden hour is with you. Therefore, you should be competent in all skills needed in emergencies, because saving of a life of a patient is in your hands. We had done 2020, we had done the pre-assessment before this, our clinical training program. And we have told their level of competency. 52% of you told you are competent in giving CPR. 18% of you told that you are competent in NG tubing, and 6% in defibrillation. And 0.5% in intubation, and also 34% of you are only competent of doing blood transfusion. This is before this clinical training program. And 28% of you all told you can do cannulation without any assistance. Therefore, we all know we need to improve that. Otherwise, patient's life is in danger. Therefore, what we had done, we have organized 6-day training program with the collaboration of College of Anesthesiologists and College of Physicians, and we trained those pre-intern doctors at base hospitals and general hospitals. Then comes to the 2-day good intern program. As Padina sir told, it developed based on the 4 domains of good medical practices. Then everything cannot be delivered within these 2 days. What we had done is, the rest of them compiled in this handbook of medical interns and given it to you today. What is included in the handbook of these medical interns? It includes the dress code of the future career, how to work in punctuality, your nutrition, because you have to look after nutrition, because you are working 24 hours on call for 365 days, and the legal aspects. And also, it includes how to use a telephone during internship period, and also how to prepare for internship, and also the handling of emergencies. Then other most important thing is, here we are educating you to prevent patients from tobacco and alcohol. In the 2015 study reveals that 15 to 20% of patients listen to doctors and quit smoking and alcohol. While we are doing ward rounds, we know most of our doctors are doing that. That means intern doctors. Because actually, intern doctor is the first on-call doctor there. Therefore, if you can spend 3 minutes with the patient and tell him to try to stop smoking and stop taking alcohol, they will listen to you. What are the advantages? Because actually, it is advantage for you. Because in short term, your 30% of your 40% of your 30% to 40% of your busy nights will be reduced, because most of the people come in the middle of the night with MI, COPD, pneumonia, and RTA. If you talk to them, and within 3 minutes, if you take 3 minutes and educate them to try to stop smoking and alcohol, you will be benefited, as well as our country, as well as economy. Because it will cost less cost for our health sector, and those people retain their money among the families to educate their children. Actually, internship is very stressful period, because 24 hours on call for 1 year's period. Because we know it's a heavy workload period, and all of us, we know 60 to 80% of us spend sleepless nights during that period. Therefore, it's very stressful period. Therefore, all our interns need psychological support. Therefore, we have started an intern support center, because 24/7 our phones are on. If you have any problems, they will talk to us. In last 8 years, we received 811 problems, and we have started out 742, and we couldn't sort 49 of them. Then we'll see what the patient's expectations. When you were a child, if you could remember the day that you met your doctor, you might not remember the treatments you have received back then, but you might remember the way you felt. It is same what we are going to give our patients. Thank you very much.